Hello all. Haven't done one of these videos in a minute, so I figured it was time. Um, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Let me know your feedback. Let me know if there's a topic around, um, well, the topic of death, but if there is something that you'd want me to get into and share my experience on, if I do have the experience, leave me a comment, reach out, and let me know. Like I said, I've been getting the feeling to do one of these videos for a little while now. There's been a break, and one of the things that I want to get across is there are so many different avenues that you can travel down when it comes to thinking about death and what it means to you and how you're going to react to it, how it shows up for you in your life, the relationship that you have with even thinking about it. And I think it's important to talk about not just the people that we lose that are a big part of our lives, but the little nuances of death. That way we can try to understand it a little bit more. Because really at the end of the day, when there's something that we don't understand and we don't want to understand, there's going to be some resistance to it. There's going to be some potential fear associated with it and a lot of confusion. So this topic is going to be different for everyone. Everyone has their own experiences. Everyone has their own way of looking at it. If you haven't lost somebody close with you, then you're going to have an entirely different outlook than somebody like me, who's had some close people in their life pass away. And the thing that I wanted to touch on today with this video is talking about the potential fear that I believe some people have when it comes to others that are passing away, or when it comes to that time. It's like, oh my God, it's gonna get close. It's coming up for this person, whether they're sick or they're to a place where it's inevitable that it's going to be pretty soon. I think sometimes we have a tendency to resist getting closer to that person because we feel like it's going to hurt more. I've experienced both sides of not feeling that close with somebody that I wish I would have been closer to, and then on the opposite side of things, getting a little bit more closure because I was able to have some talks, and it just made our relationship better towards the end before they passed. And these two examples I'm talking about, my mom and my dad. I've done previous videos on this, so if you want to go back and check them out, feel free. With my dad, just to give that example, we weren't close. We weren't super close, and I wished we would have been. I just didn't know how to connect with him. He didn't know how to connect with me. It just unfortunately played out like that. And then with my mom, there towards the end, we were able to actually have some very real, very guard down, vulnerable talks. I can honestly say I felt closer with my mom in her past few months than I did the majority of my life, because it was to a point where it's like, why the fuck are we holding on to this? Like, let's talk, let's get it out, let's see how we really feel. Let's, like, one of the things that I think we can be scared of sometimes is sharing things that that we think might upset the other person. Because if they're going through a rough time, if you know that death is on the horizon, the last thing that you want to do is upset them. But is that really what's going on? And that's what, that's what I'm questioning. That's what I'd like others to question too, because it's my belief, it's my thought that the reason, or one of the main reasons death is so hard is because we don't truly get to know the person to their core, and that hurts. It hurts not knowing the person in and out, the vulnerable side of them, their fears, their goals, how they view you, how you view them. Like all this stuff you can share with people, but it's not, I don't think it's common. And I mean, think about the relationships in your life. Think about how many people that you feel like you know everything about. You feel like you know them to their core. I offer to say that it's probably not that much. It is probably not that many people. And I think we should change that. I think vulnerability and putting our true selves out there makes the entire human experience better. It helps with our relationships, it helps with our connection, and it helps in these moments where it's difficult to be around, because it's difficult to be around people that are going through a rough time. It is. The amount of emotional weight, everybody can feel it. It's a heavy time knowing that somebody is about to pass, and then figuring out what the hell to talk about, figuring out what you want to do with this person, if you can spend some time with them. How do you want your experience with somebody else to be? Just to give you an example, this is something that I know for a fact happens. I've witnessed it. I'm not going to give any names or talk about the person that passed that this happened to. But some people who are saying that they're your friends, and then seeing that they're not willing to show up, like physically, like not willing to go see you in the hospital or to see you in the state that you're in because it's going to be too hard for them. That is very upsetting. That's upsetting thinking about. That's upsetting understanding that it happens. And I think it lends itself to what I'm talking about is I believe that it's too rough of an emotional toll to face, because I really think that people would be better off at the end of the day if they really tried to get to know somebody to their core. And not being able to go see somebody that you call a friend because it's going to be too emotionally taxing for you. It's just going to be too hard. Man, that's sad. It's just so sad, because people that are about to pass away, they need support. Like, they need people around them that love them. If you're going to call them a friend, like, it's just a fucked up situation for the person that's already going through a lot of stuff to try and process in their last days. Like, wow, were you really my friend this whole time? How did you look at our friendship? And it's doing a disservice to the relationship. The human connection is a beautiful thing. It is something that we've gotten away from, like truly understanding who the other person is. We only share so much of ourselves with people, and vulnerability is hard. It's not always the easiest to do, especially in a world where it seems like we're always being judged. You know, we don't, I don't think we know how to truly be vulnerable anymore, because what if it gets put online? What if I end up in a viral video because of something that I said? And I got to protect that. And if you have a lot of different people that are protecting their own shit because of that, then that is going to be the habit. That is going to be what you do. So when you do get into a situation where emotions are running high, and you know you're in a place where I believe that vulnerability is needed. Like if you know that somebody's about to die, a lot of that bullshit that you wouldn't talk about before, to me, should go out the window. Like, shit's real. It's real. Somebody's about to pass away. You're never going to be able to talk with them again. Get to know them. You might not realize how much you don't know about somebody until you get to know them. Even the people that I feel like I know, oh my God, so well, there's still going to be things about them that I don't know. That's okay. That part, like, there's no way that you can know every little detail about a person's psyche and subconscious and all that. Like that's crazy talk. But avoiding getting to the real raw emotions of what you're feeling, like talk to people about this shit. Like it's not going to be easy for the person that's about to pass away to just come up with all this stuff to talk about and be vulnerable. Like it might be a good thing for you to reach out, ask them if there's something that they want to talk about, share some of your fears, share some of the things that you appreciate about that person, that you want them to know from your love, from your heart. Like, what do you want them to know? That can then give them permission to do the same to you, and then you've opened that doorway of vulnerability to be able to connect on a better level. And then when the inevitable day comes, I can I can tell you from personal experience, when that day comes that the person is no longer here, it feels better that you got to know them on a deeper level versus not. Avoiding getting to know somebody that's a big part of your life is not going to help you avoid the pain that comes after they go. It's not. So I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you're able to connect better with people in your lives. Even this is especially for people who haven't lost anyone, that you don't have anybody in your life that you've lost. It doesn't mean you have to wait until that happens or that you hear that somebody has a certain amount of time left on this earth. Start getting to know people now. Like, know who your real people are. You know, you don't want to get to a place where you need that support from the people that you think are your friends, and then they don't show up because they don't have the they don't have the strength to be there to support you in your time of need. Just get closer. Be vulnerable. Fuck it. Who cares? If the people that you're being vulnerable with about how you truly feel and about how you see the world, about the things that are going on in your life, if they don't give a shit about you, they're not your friend. Even if they are like somebody that might be a family member or somebody that's been in your life for a really long time. If they don't care to know you, it's a surface level relationship. It just is. There's nothing wrong with surface level relationships, but do not expect them to show up for you during the hard times. That's what surface level relationships are. They show up when everything's good, And then when things get bad, they disappear. Because it was there for a need. You probably both benefited from it. You probably had a lot of good times together, but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about the real, the raw relationships, the one that you hold near and dear to your heart. Get real with these people. Get real with yourself. Like, find out what scares you about this. Find out what might be stopping you, from connecting with somebody, from being vulnerable with somebody. Again, we all have this in common. We're all going to die. So it is something that we can all talk about. It is something that doesn't escape any of us. So I hope that this can help. I hope that you're able to connect better with those in your life. And again, if there's a topic around death, if there's something in particular that you want me to talk about and give my experience with, if I have experience there, I'll share it. Again, best of luck with this, guys, and I hope you can connect better with those in your life.